that word straight. Strong's H3474, and as you can see, to be straight or even, to make right, pleasant, direct, all these words, man, to seem good, fit, meet, please, right, straight, uprightly, and I just thought it was fitting, being that my sister is about to start this chemo tomorrow, to just give her a little inspiration and to keep her spirits high, because it's a mental battle. Of course, we in this captivity, man, and these doctors really just didn't really do exactly what they could have, should have, and we can say this, that, and the third, and but it's all through the Most High's will, man, that we're going through this. But in order for us to ultimately receive that promise, we have to continue to keep straight. And it was fitting. I was reading 1 Samuel. I started around the fourth chapter, and basically the story of the Philistines, and how they took the ark. First they slaughtered like 40,000 Israelites, and in war, in the battle, and they took the ark of God, of the Most High. And every city that they took the ark, it brought plagues among the people that dwelled in that area. So I think it was Ashdod, Gaza, Ascalon, Gath, and Ekron, and the Lord sent plagues, right? Well, at first, I believe it was in Ashdod where they set the actually, let's get that. We're gonna just get that. Give me 1 second. I believe it's let's go back. So this is 1 Samuel 5:1. It said, and the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it unto the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. Verse 4, and when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. Therefore neither the priest of Dagon nor any that come into the Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod until this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod and the coast thereof. So the Most High wasn't playing. You killed all his men, even though they weren't keeping, and we're going to get to that, they weren't their hearts were engulfed into strange gods, so they weren't calling upon the name of the Lord. So that was just the Most High doing his work. But at the same time, that's showing you that we don't have to fight these battles alone, because the Most High is ultimately with us, right? He's ultimately with us at all times. So that's just something to remember. And I'm gonna jump down to 1 Samuel. We're gonna start at. We're gonna go to 6. Actually, we're gonna go to 7. We're gonna jump down. We're gonna start at 3. Okay, and this is when, at this point, right, they had taken the ark. Actually, let me go back to 6, because I got a point that I want to prove about that word straight. Yep. Okay, so at this point, they were gathering, they like, hey, we got to get rid of this thing, right? It's just like you bring something in your house, right? And that's why, brothers, we have to protect Salakia for those messages popping up. Actually, let me just, I was going to put it on, let's go put it on airplane mode, but I got the music playing in the background, so it's all good. But anyway, it's like, you have to protect your temple, because, that's why I don't really I try not to anyway, let random people in my house, right? And you brothers shouldn't either, man. Nobody should be invited into your temple, right? Now, of course, you have certain family that come over, and most of your family know, your belief system and or whatnot, or what they should at this point. So they're not going to come with any, strife or anything like that. But it's just that energy, that sometimes that left-hand energy will creep into your temple, man, and it'll get you. All right, that's why we have to keep straight. And I'm going to get to the point. So it's 1 Samuel 6 and 12. Well, actually, we're going to start at 10. It said, and the men did so, and took 2 milch kine, and tied them to the cart, and shut up their calves at home. And they laid the ark of the Lord upon the cart, and the coffer with the mice of gold, and the images of their emerods. And the kine took the straight way to the way of Bethshemesh, and went along the highway, longing as they went, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left, right? And the lords of the Philistines went after them unto the border of Bethshemesh. And the point that I want to prove is that when they tied the ark of the Lord up to the kine and on that cart, it went the straight way, right? So of course they followed it to see what was going to happen, but ultimately they were trying to get rid of it. They really didn't care where it was going ultimately, but it was just the fact that it went the straight way. And it could have gone a multitude of different routes. But again, and the kine took the straight way to the way of Bethshemesh, and went along the highway, longing as they went, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left. So that's the spirit that we have to be in at all times, is to, obviously stay in repentance, day in and day out, stay in prayer, so that you can continue to stay straight. Because ultimately that's the ultimate test, right? The Lord didn't give the land, the earth, into the hand of the wicked for a reason, right? And ultimately this is beautiful prophecy and a beautiful story in the Most High's movie, because although, through Adam we all die, right? And we all sin according to the flesh. It's the ultimate test of who is going to get and stay on that straight path, right? That straight path to righteousness, that straight path to the kingdom, that straight path to salvation. That's it. That's the only way. So that's why it's only going to be a remnant of those that dwell right with Yahweh Shai, right? That dwell, in that number. It can only be a remnant. It can't be everybody. It's just not going to be. It's too much wickedness in this world. It's too much. Everywhere you turn, it's just wickedness, right? And I don't want to go on a tangent, but it's just like, it gives me more motivation because, the Most High opened up my pineal gland through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and the water to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who pushed the 100% truth. And the Lord for waking me up and showing me that. And so, now we have Salakia, now we have a duty, a great duty to stay straight. That's it. Even if you fall short, it's okay. You in the flesh. It's not about your falls. It's about your ways, right? It's ultimately about your ways, and it's ultimately about what's in your heart. So let's finish on, let's go to, and I was really in 1 Samuel. So like I said, this is going to hopefully be a short lesson. And we're going to start at 1 Samuel 7:3. And it reads, And Samuel spake unto the house of Israel, saying, If ye do return unto the Lord with all your heart, then put away the strange gods of Ashereth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only. Right? Because we all know, right? The Lord he's jealous, as he should be. He made us to be separate and to be holy and to be above all nations. Right? So I'm gonna start that over. This is 1 Samuel chapter 7 verse 3. And Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, If ye do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods. And those gods are lowercase because they have no power in regards to our power, right? The Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines. This is verse 4. Then the children of Israel did put away Balaam and Ashtaroth, and served the Lord only. And Samuel said, Gather all Israel to Mizpeh, and I will pray for you unto the Lord. And he gathered together to Mizpeh, and drew water, and poured it out before the Lord, and fasted on that day, and said there, We have sinned against the Lord. And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpeh. This is verse 7. And when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together to Mizpeh, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. And the children of Israel said unto Samuel, Cease not to cry unto the Lord our God for us, that he will save us out of the hand of the Philistines. And Samuel took a sucking lamb and offered it for a burnt offering holy unto the Lord. And Samuel cried unto the Lord for Israel, and the Lord heard him. And as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel, but the Lord thundered with a great thunder on that day upon the Philistines. And this comforted them, and they were smitten before Israel. And the men of Israel went out of Mizpeh and pursued the Philistines and smote them until they came under Bethkar. Then Samuel took the stone and set it between Mizpeh and Shen, and called the name of Ebenezer, saying, Hitherto hath Lord helped us. Hath the Lord helped us. So the Philistines were subdued, and they came no more into the coast of Israel, and the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. And that's it, man. That's it. So we have the greatest power, right? And to be in this truth is the greatest blessing a man in the flesh can receive. Period. Period, man. You can ask any man of the Lord, right? A true man of the Lord, and you give me $1 million right now today, and I'll be like, shit, man, I'm finding I'll start a non-profit, and I'll find some young jakes and give that shit away. I don't want it. I don't want no riches in this kingdom. This is not my rest, right? So, the water for listening. I pray you brothers, Akim and any Aqua for listening, were edified. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Shalom.